Okay, everyone, we're going to begin in just a few moments. Just bear with us.
Notice I blew a kiss. You notice I blew a kiss. You notice I blew a kiss.
I know.
And he did away.
I know. You know who's higher in my esteem, right?
They think I don't want to do that. I said love already. You know what I'm saying?
I get to see you 2 days in a row.
We'll make it 3 if we go to practice.
If we go to what? Yeah, I'm in. You get the tickets. I'll go play back.
Check his expression. He said, I want to go too.
Like, I bet you could get well.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Sean?
Yeah, so I'm stressed.
All right, folks, it's going to be about just 5 more minutes. you all want to come on up, if y'all want to come join. So yeah. So Sim, Rosie, Jenny, and Dee are all going to stand here, and then we're going to have everyone filling around.
Mayor.
Community partners, if you all want to kind of fill in on the sides as well. And then, so Sim, Jenny, Dee, Rosie, you all stand here. Liz as well.
Thank you.
And then independent elected is county council, and then everyone just kind of fill in around the desk.
We ready? Are we ready to start?
And then if we want to get a few more people on this, yeah, let's have a few over here.
James, 2 days in a row. Sean.
Great. Good to see you.
God being
You tell us when. Are we ready? Okay. Every day. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Sim Gill. I'm a Salt Lake County District Attorney. And we all are gathered here today, as many others across our nation are coming together as a community of ordinary people united against hate. And this is a gathering of people collectively asserting that hate has no place in the places that we work, live, play, and share with our citizens, neighbors, and friends. The Salt Lake County DA's office has been very privileged to be one of the members of the Community Partners Against Hate with the United Jewish Federation. And we have a list of all of our different community partners, everybody from the Utah Islamic League to the LDS Church, the First Baptist Church, FBI, Salt Lake City PD, and of course Salt Lake County. So today we're going to be, and I also just want to take just a second to acknowledge our county partners as well who are here as well, and other elected folks here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a few minutes to talk and share with you our thoughts. And the run of show is going to be that we will begin with Dr. Jay Jacobson, followed by Liz Page from the United Jewish Federation. Dr. Jacobson is our representative from the Community Partners Against Hate, followed by Councilwoman Dee Theodore, our Mayor Jenny Wilson, then Sheriff Rosie Rivera, and then I will make some concluding remarks as well. And then after that, we will have an opportunity to read a proclamation. So with that, I'm going to turn the time over to Dr. Jay. And he is going to be on the board because he was out of town, so he wanted to send us a note. So please look at your
Good morning. I'm Jay Jacobson, the chair of the United Jewish Federation's Community Partners Against Hate, an organization, really a coalition of community leaders and law enforcement professionals that came together following a terrible incident of hate-fueled violence in Pittsburgh, where 11 Jewish worshipers were killed by a gunman who was misinformed, misdirected, and misguided, believing that in some way those people represented a threat to him. Beginning at that time locally with the help of our county attorney, these leaders and law enforcement officials tried to move Utah to join the 45 other states who had specific statutes making hate crimes punishable by more enhanced sentences. We were successful in that year, and since 2020, when the statute went into law, we've been working in Utah with our partners to increase awareness of hate crimes, to improve the sadly very, very limited reporting of them, to support the victims, and to work hard on preventing the progression of offenders from anger to hate to violence. We've had tremendous support from our district attorney's office, and it's an honor to be at a conference today organized by District Attorney Gill and his colleagues. Let me say a little bit more about what we do locally and what we've done nationally that ties to the United Against Hate Week that runs this year from October 19 to 25. That event, that national event, is sponsored by the Not in Our Town group, who produce wonderful resources and documentaries about hate crimes. Their director, Patrice O'Neill, has already come to Utah to present one of her films, Repairing the World, a documentary about the Pittsburgh hate crime, at a youth summit at our capital, and she will return again this year, next month, November 5th, at Westminster College. Our group has produced public service announcements, and we meet monthly to dialogue between those most affected by hate crimes and those most capable of addressing them, responding to them, and preventing them. We've also brought delegations from Utah, including law enforcement, faith, and religious partners who are among our partners and community leaders, to the Pittsburgh Summit. At that summit, we learn repeatedly that police are doing their very best to respond to hate crimes. Social workers and skilled professionals are doing their best to help victims. But the public is so far still failing to report potential offenders in time to prevent them from making the progression from anger to hate and from hate to violence. We need everyone's help to do that. In Utah, this is so important that we've secured proclamations from our city mayor, our county mayor, and our governor, all declaring that Utah should be no place for hate. Our leaders are on board, but we really need our residents and citizens to provide the help that's needed. It's been an honor for me to participate in this conference today, and I really look forward to hearing what you will all hear from the other speakers who are here. Let's work together to make Utah no place for hate.
Thank you for being here. I'm Liz Page, Associate Director of the United Jewish Federation of Utah, and I'm proud to stand with our partners during United Against Hate Week, a week of learning, action, and community building to push back against bigotry in all its forms, and to lift up what makes Utah strong, our shared dignity and our shared future. United Against Hate Week is not just a calendar event. It's a commitment. It's our community saying clearly, we will not normalize harassment, threats, or violence, whether anti-Semitism, anti-Muslim bigotry, racism, homophobia, transphobia, or any ideology that targets people for who they are. Hate isolates. Community protects. And that's why we created Community Partners Against Hate, a broad coalition of nonprofits, faith communities, educators, civic leaders, and public safety partners. Community Partners Against Hate brings people together to move beyond statements and into skills. How to recognize bias incidents, how to report effectively and safely, how to be an upstander, and how to support neighbors who've been targeted. Together, we publish resources, train volunteers, and make it easier for Utahns to speak up and stand up when it matters. This week also spotlights our upcoming Student Unity Summit to Eradicate Hate, which will take place on November 4th at Westminster University. And this summit brings together high school students from across Salt Lake City and Salt Lake District into one room to learn, to lead, and connect. And students will strengthen their leadership skills grounded in dignity, respect for all, and civil engagement. They'll learn from real stories of resilience, examining how communities come together in the aftermath of hate-fueled violence. They'll reflect on their own school environments to identify gaps and opportunities for fostering belonging, inclusion, and safety for every student. And they will collaborate with their peers to design and implement student-led initiatives during the school year that promote unity, understanding, and dialogue, building bridges and finding common ground solutions to real challenges in their communities. We are deeply grateful to Salt Lake County for its principled leadership and partnership in making this work possible. and to all the members of the Community Partners Against Hate Coalition, from city and county offices to law enforcement, schools, nonprofits, and faith communities. Each partner brings unique expertise and compassion to the table. Together, they help us ensure that education, prevention, and community support go hand in hand, and that every Utahn knows where to turn when hate tries to take hold. I want to also acknowledge something important. Combating hate is not only reactive, it's proactive. The strongest defense is our connection. When our kids collaborate across neighborhoods, when faith communities show up for one another, when journalists report responsibly, and leaders speak with moral clarity, we change the climate. We make it harder for hate to take root and easier for people to ask for help. So here's our ask this week. Join us. Cover the stories of students choosing courage over cynicism. Share Community Partner Against Hate's resources so families know where to turn. If your organization wants training, call us. If you witness an incident, report it. If you're unsure what to do, reach out and we will walk with you. Utah is at its best when we look out for one another. United Against Hate Week gives us the structure. Community Partners Against Hate provides the tools, and the Student Unity Summit elevates the next generation of leaders. And together, we can make safety, respect, and belonging not just aspirations, but everyday realities. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dee Theodore. I'm the Salt Lake County Council Chair. I'm happy to be here today with our Democrat and Republican colleagues alike. So I believe hate is a nonpartisan issue and something that we face here in our county, unfortunately. And I think as you look at things from the national level, the temperature can be quite high. In Salt Lake County, I'd like to believe that we do things differently here. And we are a state that is caring and compassionate towards others. And I like to also bring that to our county, and I think we do a really good job. As chair this year, I have encouraged unity, respect, and compassion with our members, and just spreading that same message to our community. I know we've had some things that happen in our state that have been hateful and very painful to our community, and so I definitely discourage that type of activity or behavior, and I will always lead with compassion. And I just want to say, I think this also is a big deal for our youth, because our youth are our future, and when we can teach them that hate has no place in our community or schools even, it really sends a profound message. And I'm just going to give you a quick story, and it involves my son, because he's in high school and he was in middle school, and it was a very hard time for him. And he's in high school now, so he's maturing. And, you know, he gets picked on here and there, and someone was picking on him, and he says, Mom, I'm you know, this guy's picking on me. I'm like, why don't you just try and be nice, or just step away? And he's like, yeah, it's really hard. And I'm like, I get that, buddy, I get it. And so, but anyway, I said, okay. So they had some back and forth, and I said, just try a different approach. And so he says, a couple of weeks later, I think it was, he's like, oh, we're cool now, we're cool. I'm like, okay, that's good to know. And then he calls me and says, Mom, I'm going to be late to coming out to the car. Somebody in my class got hurt, and I'm pushing him to the office in a three-wheeled chair. And I said, okay, so it's the same kid. So their relationship started out kind of heated. But I just kept encouraging my son. I'm like, find it in you to just like this person or step away. And he found a way to make it work, where he's helping this kid get to the office to get help with his twisted ankle. So I just think by encouraging and reaffirming that message, that we can be kind to others, and it gets us much further in life than hate. And with that, I just want to say, when we allow hate into our lives, no one wins. But when we open our hearts to kindness and compassion, everyone benefits. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm Jenny Wilson. I'm the Salt Lake County Mayor, and really pleased to be with you today. I want to thank the organizers for the work that you've done to make this event a reality. Thank our district attorney for the invitation to join. And I want to thank the many Salt Lake County employees who have prioritized this initiative and the work that we're sharing today related to an important element of our community, and that is, on the positive side, the joy and connection that I believe we do share as a community. On the negative side, the challenge that we face as a community when we see acts of violence and incidents that can be as simple as the one that was shared just now by the council member that ended up moving in the absolute right direction, or sadly incidents that are more impactful to our broader community. And I just want to take a second to share that Salt Lake County has been and will continue to be a place that honors individuals. We were the first certified welcoming county several years ago. Basically, that means when people are new to our community, we embrace them, we support them, and we work with them on a path to success. That's a value that we will continue at Salt Lake County. I also want to thank law enforcement within our valley, our district attorney, and others who are working deliberately around incidents that need attention. When we see organized hate, whether it may be a small cell or a larger movement, we need to stand up and do the right thing as a community to say we do not stand for actions that inhibit the opportunity of others. And then I also want to share that we as a county are looking for ways to connect one to another. We do it day in and day out through our youth services, our aging services, all of our programs, by hosting all within our rec centers and our parks. We will continue to be a welcoming county and make sure that it is an actionable priority for us. I want to share for a second and build on the comments just made by Council Chair Theodore. It starts in the home. It starts with teaching our children to love and respect others and to engage with others. I think sometimes, though, along the way, we we forget what we learned in kindergarten, right? And we stop being as friendly to our neighbors. In an era of political division, it's important that we are tolerant, that sometimes when maybe there's a little thing that happens across the street that we don't agree with, that we look the other way and we show connectivity, warmth, and connection to our neighbors. That is what makes us unique in this community, in my county, and in this state. And we need to live the very lessons that we hopefully are teaching our children from day one. I want to close by saying, I know that people in our community are incredibly frustrated with government. I get it, especially if you're a federal employee and you're working for nothing right now with the hope that you're going to get paid back. I'm frustrated, but I want every resident in this county to know that we at this county work well together. There isn't name calling, there's understanding. We disagree, we figure out how to talk about it and find a path forward, often with compromise, and that compromise leading to better policy. It's more reflective of our broader community. I enjoy every elected official that I work with and honor them regardless of their background, their politics, whether or not they voted for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. And it's a principle that I value. It's one that I was taught from my own childhood. It's one that I will continue. And I want our residents to know that that's the government you're getting. It's the government I see in our cities, and it's definitely the government I see in your county, and you can have faith in that government. And with that, again, thank you for the organization and the efforts to pull this together today.
afternoon. I'm Sheriff Rosie Rivera, and I want to say thank you to Salt Lake County and our community partners for bringing us all together for United Against Hate Week. This week is about standing united to say that hate and biases have no place in our county. Across the country and here at home, we've seen how political division and social tension can fuel hostility and acts of hate. When advocates, community leaders, and law enforcement come together, we can take meaningful action to prevent hate crimes, respond swiftly when they occur, and hold offenders accountable. There's an importance of reporting hate crime. One of the most important actions we can take is reporting hate crime and biases against others. In 2024, there were 33 reported hate crimes in Salt Lake County, including targeted people because of their race, religion, sexual orientation, and ethnicity. We know that that number doesn't tell the whole story because many incidents go unreported. People often hesitate to report because they fear retaliation, they worry they won't be believed, or aren't sure what qualifies as a hate crime. But reporting is how we act as law enforcement. It's how law enforcement gets investigations started, tracks trends, and connects victims with advocates and resources. If it's not reported, we can't investigate it. We can't prevent future harm, and we can't hold offenders accountable. The Salt Lake County Sheriff's Office is committed to ensuring that every person feels safe and supported and respected, not only in Salt Lake County, across the entire state. And I want to thank Utah Department of Public Safety for also being here representing law enforcement. Our deputies are trained to respond with professionalism and compassion. We take every report seriously, and we will protect. We are dedicated to developing and maintaining trust with all communities, creating effective pathways for the prevention and intervention of hate, incidents, and hate crimes. Now, how to report. I encourage anyone who experiences or witnesses a hate crime or bias incident to reach out to law enforcement because every report matters. If you or someone you see is in immediate danger, call 911. For non-emergency situations, contact your local law enforcement agency. Victim advocates are also always available to connect you with support and resources. Whether you are a victim, a witness, or an advocate for someone else, your report matters. Reporting is how we make our communities safer. All acts of hate are unacceptable. We each have a role to play in speaking out against hate. The Salt Lake County Sheriff's Office is here to take action, protect victims, and hold offenders accountable. Let's stand together to ensure that hate has no place in Salt Lake County. Thank you.
Let me again underscore what the sheriff just said. If you don't report it, it'll never be investigated. If it's never investigated, it'll never be prosecuted. And when we talk about, human imagination can muster scores of reasons that separate us from each other without much effort. The same imagination can resolve to find much that connects us as well. This latter possibility requires an affirmative commitment, a choice that rejects the emotional seduction of hate. Hate is emotional. It is visceral. You can feel it. Its payoff is immediate. The target of hate is not something academic or abstract. It is in front of you. And in that process, you can humiliate, marginalize, dehumanize this person and as a part of whatever you're feeling. And this hate can be intoxicating. It's addictive. And like all addictions, it needs more and more to give you that first high of being in a position of empty power. Hate feeds upon itself. Like all addictions, it avoids and hides the truth. Hate allows you to hide, not do the difficult work, the important work, the uneasy work. Hate is often lazy, easy, delusional. You cannot hate without losing something It exacts a price. We lose as our community, we lose as our neighbors and friends when we tolerate its presence. As it dehumanizes others, it also robs us of our own humanity, our own dignity. Hate is learned, it is cultivated and nurtured. In other words, hate needs our complicity, our tolerance, our silence to the harm it does. Hate can manifest itself in various ways. Its targets can be religious, cultural, ethnic, gender, racial. However, it is the same virus, the same disease, just packaged differently for this moment. Just because it is not directed at you today doesn't mean that you will not be its target tomorrow. There is no safety, no reconciliation with hate. And as was mentioned, it is now recently becoming political. And I'm really proud to stand with friends from our community and especially our colleagues from Salt Lake County government, where our political differences are not personal differences, where our policy differences are our strength to solving practical issues, where at the national level there may be a desire to ridicule or own the other side. In Salt Lake County, we work together, try and solve issues for our community of citizens. More crucially, all of us condemn the virus of hate that would humiliate, marginalize, and dehumanize our community. And all of us have a role to play in it. And that is why gatherings like today are so critical. Thank you. You were up here, so.
Oh,
yeah.
great.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Councilman.
Yes,
Yeah,
sorry.
so you're gonna-
Okay. Okay, so we will read the proclamation now. I will start, and this is a proclamation of Salt Lake County Mayor, Salt Lake County Council, and Salt Lake County District Attorney, and Salt Lake County Sheriff declaring October 20th through 24th, 2025 as United Against Hate Week in Salt Lake County. Whereas communities across the United States observe a week of action to respond to and stop hate in response to rise and expression of hate and intolerance. And whereas in recent years, Utah has seen hate crimes directed at individuals based on religion, race, political expression, sexual orientation, gender, and ethnicity. And whereas the way we treat one another matters. And whereas hostility, anger, and violence cut at the threads of our social fabric. And whereas,
Whereas the week-long observance provides community with support and resources to foster an environment of inclusion and belonging, and whereas Salt Lake County is committed to taking immediate action upon learning of possible hate crimes and bias incidences, and whereas those who believe they have been a victim of hate crime should contact the police department in their city to report it and speak to a victim advocate. And
whereas Salt Lake County is committed to developing and maintaining ongoing trust with all communities that create effective avenues for the intervention and prevention of hate incidents and hate crimes. And whereas it requires intentional effort from everyone to cultivate compassion communities in every corner of the county. And whereas we all work together to build understanding and empathy, we can restore decency and respect for our fellow county residents. And whereas Salt Lake County adds our voice to the growing call for peace, healing, and unity.
And whereas strength of diversity and respectful civil discourse enable a stronger, more vibrant county. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, Salt Lake County Mayor Jenny Wilson, Salt Lake County Council Member Dee Theodore, Laurie Stringham, Suzanne Harrison, Natalie Pinkney, Jiro Johnson, Amy Winter Newton, Ross Romero, and Sheldon Stewart, Salt Lake County District Attorney Sim Gill, and Salt Lake County Sheriff Rosie Rivera, hereby recognize October 20th through 24th, 2025 as United Against Hate Week, and call upon all residents to work together to ensure Salt Lake County residents are not subjected to hate crimes or hate-related conduct. And thank you very much. I'll turn it back to the district attorney.
Thank you, and thank you for coming here, and thank you for being a part of this and getting this message out for us. Different individuals will be available to you for one-on-one. Thank you.
One of you guys hold up the official proclamation and get a group photo?
Sure, sure, come on in here.
Okay. Well, I'm not that sure. Move the microphone. There we go. How's that?
Okay. Thank you. Well done. Thank you.
One more.
Oh, sorry. Okay, come on there.
More.
One more.
One more. Great.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Yeah, that was great.
Good to see you too.